The 2022-2023 football season is over, but the game remains active. The summer transfer window is open and football business is thriving across the world. This is the game, and I am promised a full game. 14-time champions of Europe, Real Madrid may be one of the busiest clubs in the summer transfer market this summer, and this is because there are a number of high-profile departures, and that means there must be high-profile arrivals too before the season kicks off in August. The Los Blancos were not vintage in the outgone season, and that was visible when they lost the domestic league title to rivals Barcelona, while also crashing out of the Champions League in the semi-finals. The off-season would surely provide that chance for manager Carlo Ancelotti to reflect and possibly highlight what went wrong for the team. Stan Kamaliev is very close to Real Madrid. He joins me now from the Spanish capital. Stan, it wasn't a great season for Real Madrid by their own standards, losing the La Liga to rivals Barcelona and crashing out of the Champions League. All that made them come short of their own achievements in the previous season. What are the fans and the decision makers in Madrid saying? Is it about time to make changes on and off the pitch at the club?
When you're a big club, when you fail, as in the case with Real Madrid, then you get the carte blanche to make wholesale changes. And that's what's going to happen now this summer. It's been something that's been kind of coming for the past few years. I think the fact that Real Madrid's been winning is delayed that transition. And Real Madrid also has been trying to do it smoothly by, getting a young player every window, like it was the case with Camavinga, with Tchouaméni. But this summer, it does feel like it's going to be a bigger change. One of the big symbols of the team, Karim Benzema, leaving. A bit of a rushed leaving as well, because it seemed like everything was done in a week time, even in a few days time. So Real Madrid will need a number 9, that's for sure. That's a priority this summer. There's also 3 other important players that are leaving, with Asensio. There's some uncertainty. Hazard is also leaving the club. So Real Madrid will need to strengthen the summer, and not only in attack, but all around. They need to build up that squad. Maybe also right back, left back. There's some rumors. Busy summer ahead for Blancos, and Real Madrid fans are anxious to see who those new names are going to be coming to the Bernabeu.
All right, Stan, Captain Karim Benzema has left Real Madrid after 354 goals in 648 matches over 14 seasons. What is the conversation like in Madrid concerning Benzema's departure?
He's an absolute icon in Madrid. For me, he's in the top 3 of the most influential Real Madrid players of all time, even after Di Stefano and Cristiano Ronaldo. And, the stats speak for itself. You named the total number of goals there. He's the most capped foreign player in Real Madrid history. The second most goals scored, after Ronaldo in recent years. So, he's got all the accolades to show. He's worked his transition into this Real Madrid team from the first stage of competing with, the likes of Gonzalo Higuain, becoming that focal number 9 of the club, then being more of a provider to Ronaldo, to those last few years where he was kind of that leader of the new Real Madrid, of the young guns like Vini, Rodrigo around him, and still managed to bring lots of success to the club. His legacy is absolutely cemented, and even though it was rushed, it seemed a bit in a rush the way he left Real Madrid. Sometimes the great players, they leave like that. They leave on a high. They want to be remembered as a hero, and that's what's going to be left after Benzema. Because even in his last season, we talk about Real Madrid maybe failing on their targets, Benzema being in and out of the team, but still he managed to score 31 goals, competition. So, even in a season where we doubted him, he still delivered the numbers. His legacy is untouched, and I think we're only going to start realizing, and Real Madrid fans are only start realizing once he's gone, the amount of impact that he had, not only on the pitch but outside as a leader as well.
Well, like you mentioned, Saudi Arabia has been the latest destination for big players in their 30s. It's looking like the best place to get football pensions and that final huge paycheck before hanging the boots.
It does seem to be the new place for, kind of aging European players, just like MLS used to be for a number of years. Then the Chinese Super League became that destination, and now it's shifted to the Middle East, and it makes a lot of sense. I think after the World Cup, the amount of kind of eyes on football from that part of the world has multiplied. So the investment has been coming in, for the last 10, 15 years in European clubs. Look at Man City, PSG, the recent example of Newcastle as well. So it's only logical that they're going to invest also in their local league and try to push that, and I've read that the government as well has made it clear that they want to spread the talent across the league. They were against kind of pairing up all those superstars like Ronaldo, Benzema, potentially Messi in one team. So they're making sure that there's gonna be a competitive league, and hopefully they can also use that as a springboard to develop their local talent, because I think that was some of the drawbacks, for example, with the Chinese example, that it became kind of a flash in the pan for a few years, and the Chinese national team never really took off and never really had any benefits for the local grassroots football. So I hope that Saudi Arabia, and I'm sure they do, because they've been smartly doing this investment in football. So I'm sure they've learned their lessons, and they're gonna try to develop the sport in that part of the world.
All right, let me ask you this, Stan. While Benzema's departure is widely celebrated, same cannot be said about Eden Hazard's exit from Madrid this season. The Belgian rival was the talk of the town in Madrid some 4 years ago. Now, 4 years down the line, he's already become a liability with only 7 goals in 76 matches in 4 seasons. What made Eden's adventure at Madrid a hazard?
We have to say that Hazard has been probably the biggest one in their history. It hasn't worked out. I was there in 2019. I was kind of close to the club, and at his unveiling, there was a lot of expectation, almost full Bernabeu. It felt like kind of like when Ronaldo was coming back in the day, and it was supposed to be that Galactico type player. Wow, Real Madrid invests into their stadium renovations, but it never worked out. I don't know if it was maybe personal issues, psychological issues as well, because we've seen him also underperform for his national team in the last few years. But whatever the reason is, I don't know if he culturally didn't adapt to the club. Maybe something that we saw with Gareth Bale in the latter stages of his career around Madrid, but it definitely hasn't worked out, and it has been a big waste of money. But to be fair to Hazard, he did have an additional year on his contract that he seemed to have written off, and maybe they've reached some kind of agreement where Real Madrid will pay off that additional year and let him go on a free this summer. So in a way, he's a little bit maybe paying back to Real Madrid fans, to the club, that he's not going to be sitting there on the books for another year when he clearly isn't in the manager's plans, and he's going to free a spot for another quality player to come in.
And who else do you think may likely leave Real Madrid this summer, and who are the likely new arrivals?
Yeah, I think that's the exits for Real Madrid have finished. There's 4 players leaving: Benzema, Asensio, Mariano, and Hazard, and I think that will be it, because there was talk of Nacho earlier in the transfer when the season ended. He seemed to have turned around, signed a deal with the club. So I don't think Real Madrid can allow to lose any more squad players. They have Fran Garcia, who was playing for Rayo Vallecano for the last few seasons. He's a Real Madrid player. He's going to come back, definitely be part of the squad. There's a decision to be made on Brahim Diaz. Is he gonna? Are they gonna activate that buyback clause and get him back from Milan? I think that would be a very intelligent signing, because he will kind of fill that maybe Asensio role in the squad. And like we said, there's gonna be a busy summer ahead, because apart from a few options up front, they need to add a bit of quality all around. I think also on the left back, right back, you know, we've seen with Dani Carvajal, he can't be fit for the whole season, and Lucas Vazquez, you know, as much as he's a deputy and can fill the hole, he's not really, you know, a starting right back for Real Madrid. So I'm expecting someone to come in on that side, on the left flank as well, depending on what happens with Mendy. You know, and Fran Garcia, who's coming from Rayo Vallecano, they can also look for a player there. There's talk of João Cancelo. There's also talk of the buy Alphonso Davies if he becomes available. So in the midfield, I think Real Madrid is secured for now. Jude Bellingham coming in now is going to be that, you know, I think for the future, Real Madrid, they're set with that Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Bellingham trio. There's speculations that Valverde, if anyone else leaves, it might be Fede Valverde, because he's kind of the only asset that they can really take some money from, you know, back into the club. And as much as he's important to that club, you know, there is a bit of an overbooking now in the midfield with Dani Ceballos staying as well. So yeah, it's going to be, I think, the first summer in a while where Real Madrid will have to be busy. They will bring, I think, 3 or 4 players minimum. And it's exciting times, because when Real Madrid is splashing the cash, you know, it's always exciting for La Liga and for European football.
Stan Kamaliev from Madrid, thank you so much for talking to me on the game. Well, regardless the changes in Madrid, a squad ahead of the coming season, some players will be expected to lead the rest as they look forward to a better 2023-2024 football season. Such should include Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, who is quite young, Luka Modric, who is already on the other side of 30 in midfield, Eduardo Camavinga, David Alaba in defense, Toni Kroos in midfield, amongst others. Thanks for watching the game. See you again next time.